I joked about testing his friend in bed. He said the results would come from court. It was supposed to be a joke. A stupid, careless joke that I never thought would change everything. But sometimes, one wrong sentence can shatter the life you built for years. That's what happened to me. Ryan and I had been married for 4 years. We weren't perfect, but we were stable. He was calm, logical, the kind of man who planned everything down to the smallest detail. I was the opposite, spontaneous, sarcastic, always teasing to lighten the mood. That balance used to work, until it didn't. Lately, things had been tense. The spark between us was fading, and our conversations had become mechanical. Bills, errands, work, that was our language. I'd try to joke around to break the monotony, but Ryan wasn't laughing anymore. He was distant, detached, and I started to feel invisible. Then his best friend Mark started coming around more often. Mark was everything Ryan wasn't. Loud, funny, confident. He'd crack jokes, make me laugh, remind me what it felt like to be noticed. I didn't mean for anything to happen. I just enjoyed feeling seen again. I'd laugh too loudly at his jokes, maybe stand too close sometimes, but it was harmless. Or at least I thought so. One night, after dinner with some friends, we all sat around the table, wine glasses in hand, teasing each other about relationships. Mark had made a joke about how women always test their partners, and I, tipsy, stupid, and wanting attention, said something I'll never forget. I smirked and said, "Maybe I should test Ryan's loyalty by seeing how his friend performs in bed." The table went silent. Then everyone laughed, everyone except Ryan. His eyes met mine, cold, unreadable. I tried to brush it off, laughing nervously, pretending it was just harmless fun. But he didn't say a word. He just stood up and excused himself. That was the beginning of the end. The next morning, the silence between us was unbearable. Ryan didn't look at me, didn't speak to me. When I tried to explain that it was a joke, he said quietly, "You know what hurts most? You sounded serious." I panicked. I told him he was overreacting, that I didn't mean it, but he wasn't listening. His pride, his trust, everything we had, cracked in that moment. Days passed, and I could feel him slipping further away. He stopped eating with me, stopped texting during the day. Nights became cold and quiet. I tried to fix it, cooking his favorite meal, leaving notes, trying to talk. But nothing worked. The distance between us had turned into a canyon. Then, one afternoon, I came home to find Ryan sitting on the couch with a man in a suit beside him. The man introduced himself as his lawyer. I laughed at first, thinking it was some twisted joke. But Ryan's expression didn't change. "I'm filing for divorce," he said calmly. "And defamation. You made that joke in front of people we both know. You humiliated me. You made it sound like I wasn't enough, like I was being compared to my own best friend." My mouth went dry. I tried to speak, to defend myself, but the words wouldn't come. "Ryan, I didn't mean it," I finally whispered. "You know it was just a joke. Please don't do this." He stood up, eyes cold. "You joked about something sacred. You turned our marriage into entertainment. You tested my love. Now I'll test yours in court." And just like that, he walked away. The weeks that followed were a blur. Friends who had laughed at the joke started avoiding me. Apparently, rumors had spread that maybe there was more to my joke than just words, that I'd actually cheated. Mark stopped coming around, and when I reached out to him to clear the air, he didn't answer. His loyalty was to Ryan. I started losing everything, not just my husband, but my reputation. People whispered. My family asked what had really happened. No one believed it was just a joke anymore. When the court papers arrived, the reality hit me. He wasn't bluffing. Ryan was serious. I had humiliated him publicly, and now he was determined to make sure I paid for it. During the hearing, sitting across from him, I couldn't even look into his eyes. The man who once held me through sleepless nights now looked at me like a stranger. His lawyer described how I had publicly degraded and emotionally harmed him, using my own words as evidence. When it was my turn to speak, I tried to explain how it was never meant to hurt him, how I was just trying to make him laugh, to get his attention back. But as I spoke, I saw the pain in his eyes, and I realized the truth. I hadn't been trying to make him laugh. I had been trying to hurt him. That joke, that stupid, reckless sentence, came from resentment. From the frustration of feeling ignored, from wanting to prove I still mattered. But instead of fixing what was broken, I burned everything down. After the court ruled in his favor, Ryan didn't look back. He moved out of town, started a new job, and from what I heard months later, he was seeing someone else. Someone quiet, gentle, the opposite of me. Meanwhile, I was left in the ruins of my own making. Empty apartment, empty bed, and an echoing regret that never left. It's been a year now. I still remember that night vividly. The laughter, the silence that followed. The way Ryan's face hardened. I replay it over and over, wishing I could take it back. But that's the cruel thing about words. Once they're spoken, they can't be unsaid. Sometimes I wonder if Ryan ever thinks about me. If he remembers the good times before everything fell apart. But deep down, I know I gave him no reason to. I made him the punchline of a joke in front of his best friend, a man he trusted like a brother. And in doing so, I became the villain in my own story. Now, whenever I hear people joking about relationships, I freeze. Because I know how fast humor can turn to hurt. I know how one careless moment can destroy years of love and trust. If I could go back, I wouldn't have joked. I would have told him I was lonely. I would have told him I missed him. I would have asked for help instead of hiding behind sarcasm. But it's too late for that now. He once told me, "You test love by being honest, not by making it a game." I didn't understand it then. I do now. Because in the end, I joked about testing his friend in bed, and he showed me what real consequences look like. The results didn't come from laughter, or anger, or even revenge. They came from court, and I failed every test that mattered. Now, when I look in the mirror, I don't see the confident, sarcastic woman I once was. I see someone who learned, too late, that love isn't measured by wit or attention. It's measured by respect.